All right, so Mr. Rose, who is your attorney?
I don't believe that I have an attorney.
I think you waived it last time. Okay.
Yeah, I waived my right to an attorney at my last hearing.
Okay. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Donald Jack Rose, file number 2022-20793FH. Mr. Rose, this is a date and time sentence for sentencing on your violation of probation. Have you had a chance to read and review the probation violation report?
No, but I pretty much understand it. Like, I understand what I did wrong.
No. Hold on a second. So, Mr. Stevenson, do you mind if I put you in a breakout room to review that with them?
Sure.
So, Mr. Rose, you had waived court-appointed counsel. Do you want an attorney for sentencing? Or are you okay proceeding without one?
I'm okay proceeding without one.
So what I'm going to do, because you have to review the pre-sentence report, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with Mr. Stevenson, and he's just going to go over it with you and read through it with you, just so I know that you understand it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so there you go. Use the mouse and click on join. Okay, so let's see who else. So, Mr. Thomas, are you here for Mr. Shand?
No, Your Honor, I'm on the Drabic and MIS, Russell versus Drabic and MIS.
Miss Adams, that's a civil case. Miss Adams, I'm not seeing that on my docket.
It was a settlement conference, Your Honor, but then it got transformed into a pretrial hearing because the
Well, I
plaintiff.
understand, I just don't have it on my docket, so let my staff look for it. All right, Mr. Myers,
Judge,
you are, yes.
I'm sorry. I have that crossed off canceled per Sierra.
All right, so somehow, Mr. Thomas, somebody somewhere contacted my judicial attorney and asked that it be canceled. So I can have her email you and give you an update on that. Okay. And what's the file number, Mr. Thomas?
That is 20-6490-NI.
Right. When I get off the bench and I see her, I will ask her to email you and let you know why that got adjourned.
Excellent.
I'm assuming an attorney called and did it, so.
Presumably, but thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate that.
All right, nice to see you, Mr. Thomas. All right, Mr. Myers.
Here,
Ms. Rosenberg is, yep, she's in jail. So we'll line up to get her in a minute. All right, so we are back with Mr. Rose. All right, so Mr. Rose, have you had a chance now to review the probation violation report with Mr. Stevenson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. After reviewing that with Mr. Stevenson, do you still wish to continue without an attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, is there anything in here, Mr. Rose, that you wish to explain or challenge, or you think is incorrect?
No, everything seems pretty like on point as far as to like what happened, and nothing really to explain. There's no excuses. I guess I would just apologize to the courts for my behavior, and I look forward to having another opportunity on probation to try to, I guess, explain then as to what I can actually do with myself instead of what I've done with myself so far.
Okay. All right. All right, so Mr. Rose, I'm going to You've been in jail 8 days so far on this violation, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you working when you got picked up or arrested?
I've been doing a little bit of under the table work, but it's like I was kind of scared, or not scared, I was just kind of worried that if I went and got an actual job that I would just get picked up on the warrant. So I never like went and got an actual job, so.
So do we now have no warrants out for you anywhere?
No, once I get out from here, I'll be able to just return back to work,
Okay,
so I can get on top
all
of
right.
that.
So Mr. Rose, you owe $14,500 in restitution. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
You were originally placed on probation for 2 years. Do you know I can extend your probation to get you to pay that, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, and last week I had another county ask me to extend probation so they could get restitution. So it's really, really important that you get a good job and you just hammer down this restitution, all right?
Yes.
So it's a sentence of the court that you will serve 60 days in Lenawee County Jail. I'm gonna suspend the balance of the sentencing upon a violation. Okay, so I'm gonna let you out today. Do you have anything else holding you?
No,
All right, and I'm going to continue your probation, and I'm gonna give you 30 days to get a job. Now, are you living in Lenawee?
no, I'm living in Allegheny County, but I'll report directly to Mike, and then I'll explain to him my living situation, and I can probably verify with him today that I'm gonna be able to be like employed like immediately.
Okay, so you need a job, and you need to save your money and work really hard for the next couple of years.
Did you say that you're
So
gonna
that
let
you
me
can,
out today?
huh?
Did you say that you're gonna let me out today?
Yeah, but don't screw it up, because next time I won't let you out.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so, I'll give you credit for 8 days served on the violation of probation. I'm gonna continue your probation. And, Mr. Stevenson, do you want him to report to see you today?
Yeah, yes, as soon as he gets out.
But I'm not kidding, Mr. Rose, you need to start hammering and paying on your stuff every month. You need to get a job, you need to keep that job, you need to get a second job. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. When I was in college, I had like 3 jobs just so I could pay my bills. You can do it too, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, now we're gonna send over to you, 3 copies of your notice of right to appellate review. You're gonna sign 1 copy just to acknowledge you received it. The other copies are for you. If you wish to appeal this sentence today, you would fill out the information on those forms and mail them to the address listed on the form within 42 days. Do you have any questions?
Does the paperwork get printed to the COs here at the jail, or does it get
Yeah.
printed in this room? Okay,
So someone there is gonna have you sign it, okay?
okay.
Or Miss Adams, do you want me just to give it to Mr. Stevenson, because he's in the office today, and Mr. Rose come over and sign it?
They were already faxed to the jail, so it's up to you.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Rose, as soon as you get out of the jail, you need to come see Mr. Stevenson, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Good luck, Mr. Rose.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. If I could get Miss Rosenberg from the jail.
Judge, I think that,
Oh, she's here. You want
Not
to?
here yet. Mr. Miller is.
We don't have to get those today.
No, that's the 27th.
Huh?
The 27th for Diego's.
We don't have to get those today. Miss Adams,
yes,
we don't have Mr. Diethos today, right?
no.
The only 2 people we had was Christopher Mauer and Daniel Rosenberg. Donald Rose was from the jail and Jason Adams. Miss Adams, the jail list had Jason Adams for Judge Olsaver. So I don't know what's going on.
I looked up the date and sent that to them.
I did call the jail this morning and let them know. Okay.
Mr. Mauer is here.
All right, so
Oh, Ms. Rosenberg. yes.
Mr. Mauer is not till 9:30. So,
It's not.
I thought it was 8:15.
well, Ms. Adams, Mr. Malaro won't be till 9:30, right?
Yes, correct.
Ms. Rosenberg is here.
Okay, you can bring her down or have it brought down. All right, Rhonda Underwood, in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus James Frank Crawford, file number 2022-21112FH. I have a Mr. Crawford in the courtroom. Ms. Underwood, I
He's
do not have Ms.
MDOC, Your Honor.
Well, I don't have them. All right. So I don't have MDOC, and Ms. Adams, you know if we have verification from MDOC? Ms. Weiss?
Yes.
Judge, I don't see anything on my end.
Your Honor, do you
All
need
right,
it to
so-
come up?
How do we typically, Ms. Adams, get MDOC? Is it an email or a writ by the prosecutor's office?
The prosecutor's office sends a writ.
Okay, so they didn't do a writ.
He's not here.
James Frank Crawford.
I says, we better check on Elzer too.
Look at Elzer. I mean, even when we have writs, they don't, but I do have a writ on Elzer. No, I don't. I don't have a writ on Elzer. And I don't have a writ on Crawford for today.
Judge, I think mine's MDOC as well,
Rowley?
Raleigh.
Rowley. All right, and then I have Rowley is MDOC. And I don't have a writ on that one either. Do you want the files in slice?
No, I'm looking them up right now. Do you normally get the email writs when we send a request to MDOC for those?
Miss Adams, do you want to go talk to Miss Adams, because that's like above my pay grade?
Yes.
All right, could you let her in back? Miss Adams, I'm gonna send Miss Weiss back to talk to you about those three.
Oh, okay.
Do you want the files, Miss Weiss, or can I keep, or Miss Adams, or can I keep them?
No, you can keep them, Judge.
Okay, all right, so Mr. Myers, I do have Miss Rosenberg, so I'll grab her file. This is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Danielle Cope Rosenberg, file number 23-21343FH. This is the date and time set for sentencing in this matter. So, I have Sean Myers, P78687, appearing on behalf of Ms. Rosenberg. Ms. Rosenberg requested to be here in person, so the jail did transport her over. So, Mr. Myers, I show that you received a copy of the pre-sentence report on June 27th. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge, and I've reviewed it with my client. There are a few corrections that I'd like to.
Well, hold on one second, and let me go through my little pattern of speech, and then we'll get to that. So, Ms. Rosenberg, Mr. Myers did review the pre-sentence report with you? Yes. Okay, and have you had an opportunity to discuss that with him?
Yes.
And are you satisfied with Mr. Myers and the advice that he has given you? All right. Now, Mr. Myers, do you wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or relevancy of any information in the pre-sentence report?
Yes, Judge, on a few issues. On page 1, at the very top, my last name is spelled wrong. That's not a huge issue, but
Well, it is if it's your name, so, just for the record, it's Myers.
yes, Judge, thank you. Heading to page 3 of the packet, which is actually page 1 of the conviction update report. Titled Evaluation and Plan towards the top. They discuss the sentence agreement on this page. And it's in paragraph 1 of the document. The second to last sentence reads, the end of it reads, additionally, any jail sentence is to be ran concurrent. It should be after the word concurrent, it should say concurrent with her current jail term, according to the plea agreement.
Say that again, you're kind of breaking up.
I'm sorry, Judge. If I need to, I can call back on the phone line.
No, it's okay. It's concurrent with what?
With her current jail term.
Okay.
Because there's no second conviction on this offense to, have concurrent or consecutive sentencing. It's just
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Judge. Next, on page 6, which is her adult history, the very first conviction
Was from 1900.
Yeah,
Yes, I do see that the date of conviction was January 1 of 1900 out of Covington, Kentucky. So, yeah, that's pretty old. I'm gonna guess it was 2000 maybe.
perhaps. I'm not sure, Judge. I don't know when that conviction occurred. I just knew that couldn't be right.
Well, the 10-year thing would obviously exclude it, so. Ms. Teskey.
Your
I-
Honor,
on,
I would
Mr.
say that, I
Myers.
would say that is 2000s. That was taken off a previous PSI.
Okay, so we'll change that to 2000, Mr.
I'm
Myers.
sure that was just a typo, Judge. If we go down to the basic information report, which should be page 15 of your packet.
Well, let me get there.
Yes, Judge.
Are you talking about, well, the
It's,
two pages before the guidelines?
Yes, Judge, that's correct.
Okay, go ahead.
Judge, my client's address in the top right-hand.
So we are live on YouTube, so Ms. Teskey, could you, so I don't want any house numbers or street names, Mr. Myers, but you're saying that address is incorrect?
Yes, and Ms. Rosenberg would be happy to provide that off the stream. The next correction also is of that same character. If you go to the guidelines page, which would be page 17, 2 more pages, the social security number listed at the top of this report, the last 4 digits are actually, it's just the last digit is incorrect according to Ms. Rosenberg. So she'll correct that off the record as well. I've reviewed the sentencing guidelines scorings. I do not have any additions, deletions, or corrections to that. That concludes my amendments to the report.
All right, so Ms. Rosenberg, not the whole number, what is the last digit?
9.
9, okay. We'll make that change. All right, and then, Ms. Teskey, will you be able to get her valid address when you meet with her later?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, anything else, Mr. Myers?
Not regarding the report, Judge.
Okay, so is there anything you'd like to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Judge, briefly. Ms. Rosenberg has a long history, obviously, Judge, and I know the court is going to take that into account when sentencing her. She's a long history.
So, Mr. Myers, for some reason, and it happens often, when you turn your head to the side, we lose the audio. It kind of like gets
I'll be careful.
discombobulated. Okay,
I'm sorry about that, Judge. I was just looking at my notes.
I know.
Judge Miss Rosenberg, she's got a long history with your court actually, but she's expressing a desire to turn over a new leaf here. She's getting older now, and she's expressed that she wants this to be the last time she's in front of you, and hoping to get all these things cleared up. Furthermore, as a part of her plea agreement, she has agreed to cooperation with her co-defendants, which I believe is resulting in the plea agreement at this time. The plea agreement, and the basic gist of what I'm saying is I'm asking you to follow it, is that she is to have a jail sentence imposed to be run concurrent with her current jail term. Her current jail term actually ended 3 days ago on the 4th. She is currently sitting, I believe, with 81 days of jail credit. So my request to the court is that you sentence Ms. Rosenberg to a period of 3 years of probation with 81 days jail with credit for 81 days. Or that if you're going to sentence her to the year that is currently recommended, that the balance of that be suspended for purposes of violations later on, Judge. I'm hoping that Ms. Rosenberg can be released. She's been in jail a long time.
How long have you told been in jail now?
10 months.
All right. All right. Is there anything you'd like to say in your own behalf?
Yes, Your Honor. I've asked myself, I've been in front of you numerous times, and, I've played with the system, this. I asked myself what I was going to do different this time in jail. One of the things I do is I come to jail and I don't follow rules. I have the same behavior that I have out in the community. And this time around, I've actually changed my behavior. I don't have not one ticket in there. I have been a model inmate in there. I mean, you probably talked to several COs. They complimented me on me. I never thought that I would actually care what they thought, but I actually do today. I've done everything to try to be positive in there so that the way that when I walk out, that I actually have a chance. I think I have more than a half a chance when I walk out of here now. Got rid of everybody from the streets. That's something else I'm not used to doing. I usually get money from them, do whatever I can to survive in there. I've done my time with just my mother. And 3 weeks ago, I got my son back in my life. And I really think I have more than half a chance. Now, I know it's going to be hard when I hit the community. I know this. But when I talked to Sarah Tusky, I asked her for help. I asked her for everything I possibly can. And she asked me if I wanted her to treat me like I was in drug court. And I told her yes. And honestly, I just want help. I'm tired of doing this. I'm 44 years old. I looked around, 11 months is what you sentenced me to. I don't want to come back. I don't want this life at all. And I just ask that you take that into consideration. I can sit here and tell you that I'm not going to come back, but I'd rather show you that you're not going to see me in your courtroom again. And I will prove that to you.
Ms. Teskey, on her other file, she did the 10 months or 1 year in jail with probation terminated, correct?
Yes, Judge. She was okay. So with Miss Rosenberg,
I know she was in drug court. Yeah.
She was on probation, committed more crimes, was terminated on the original probation, and then placed on probation on the second set of crimes. And now we're at the third set of crimes is what we're at right here. So I do have her on probation, but I have her on probation for the second set of crimes, not the first. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. All right. All right. Anything else, Mr. Myers and Ms. Rosenberg?
Judge.
And Ms. Teskey, she's been in jail for 10 months, but on that other file, right?
That is correct, Your Honor. She wasn't she wasn't charged on this until May.
I just want to reiterate, Judge, that the spirit of our plea agreement, I believe, is we have a sentence agreement to have jail term conclude when her other jail term concludes, which has happened.
Right, but it didn't have anything to do with any potential probation term.
Correct. I agree with that.
Okay. All right, how long do you have her on probation on that other file, Ms. Teskey?
She was just placed on 3 years probation, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. In determining the appropriate sentence in this case, the court has considered the seriousness of the offense, your history, the principal proportionality, the statutory penalty, the cost of confinement, the sentencing guidelines, the report and recommendation of the probation department, as well as what has been said upon the record at this hearing, the criteria and reasons for the sentence, or the nature and gravity of the offenses, the discipline appropriate to its commission, deterrence against repetition by you and by others, the potential for reformation, vindication for the law, and protection of society. So, Mr. Myers, just so Ms. Rosenberg understands, there was a plea agreement that her sentence on this jail term would run concurrent, correct? Which, right?
Yes, concurrent with her current jail term.
Right, but because she committed offenses while on probation and then again on probation, potentially, if she violates probation, those sentences could stack, correct?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, so Ms. Rosenberg, I'm going to place you on probation for a period of 2 years. I'm going to give you credit for the 81 days you've served. But understand, you know, yes, you're saying something different to me than you've ever said before. But that happens all the time. And I was a defense attorney. My client said it all the time. I found God, evidently he lives at the jail. I don't know. I mean, I hear all these stories and then they hit the streets and away they go. And they're back in the same neighborhood, the same people doing the same things. So this is your chance. Again, another chance, because jail doesn't really do much for people who are having addiction issues. But if you violate, you can get a sentence that stacks and you have prison term guidelines. Your guidelines on this are 9 to 23. So I can send you to prison and stack another prison term on it. So the time is now. You are 44 years old. Aren't you tired?
I'm, yes, beyond tired.
So during that term of probation, you will obey and comply with all the articles of your probation. You're already ordered to pay $750 in court costs on the other files, so I'm not going to order it on this file. There's no attorney fee because your counsel was retained. There's $68 in state costs, $130 crime victim rights fee. There's no DNA fee because you're already on probation. Ms. Teskey, is there a supervision fee even though she's already paying it?
The judge, if you would like to mention it, that's fine. The MDOC calculates that all together.
Okay, so there may be a $30 per month supervision fee, and it might be $60 if we have to put you on a tether. There's no restitution in this case.
Judge, I
Is
hate
that
to
correct,
interrupt
Ms.
you.
Teskey?
I'm a special public defender on this case. I'm not retained.
Oh, I'm sorry. So there is $450 in attorney fees. Mr. Myers, thank you for being willing to do that. Okay, and no restitution, I guess. So this is it, Ms. Rosenberg. This is your opportunity to make that change, right? And Ms. Teskey has a million resources available, and she can treat you like you're in drug court and provide those services. But if you don't take advantage of it, it doesn't do us any good, right?
Right.
So if you violate again, what's going to happen?
I'm going probably to prison, most likely.
Okay. All right. So my bailiff's going to bring down to your notice of right to appellate review. I'm going to have the initial and date 1 copy that comes back to me just to acknowledge that you received the paperwork. The other copies are for you. If you wish to appeal your sentence, you would fill out the information on the form and mail it to the address listed on the form within 42 days. So will you be getting out of jail today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Teskey, what are your instructions for Ms. Rosenberg?
Danielle, I would like you to report to me 8 AM on Tuesday morning.
Okay,
So Ms.
Okay.
Rosenberg,
yes, ma'am,
you will be drug tested next Tuesday.
that's fine.
Okay, so I know you're clean.
I know.
You better be clean on Tuesday.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. You know where all the programs are. You need to go to meetings, go to your meetings, do what you
I
need
have-
to do.
We'll be at a meeting tonight. I already have the paperwork for
Okay.
all the list of everything.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Danielle, could you also please give me a call after you're released?
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Myers.
No problem, Judge. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good day.
You too. So, Ms. Adams, in the matter of people of the state of Michigan versus Mark Anthony Rowley, he's an MDOC case, correct?
Apparently. So we've got Rowley, Elzer, and I think there's one more, Crawford.
So they will not be here today, correct?
Correct.
All right, so in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Mark Anthony Rowley, could you send a message to Mr. Dagger Margosian? File number 22-20801 FC. MDOC was not informed to present him today. Then I have, in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus James Frank Crawford, file number 22-21112 FH. He's an MDOC case and not here. And then in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Nathan James Elzer, file number 23-21281 FH. We also do not have him available. And let's see. Mauer is set for 9:30. Who's Jane Morehouse? Let's see, where do you go? All right, Ms. Yarhouse, I just wanted to let you know, I know you're there, and I will be bringing you in a few minutes, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Ms. Teskey, we did Faust, that's done. Ms. Adams, Mr. Dagger Margosian. Hold on a second.
I'm this.
Not for you. Oh, let me put this in the way.
And Judge,
All right,
sorry. I know one way that we've sometimes avoided that was to require the in-person, I don't know what we want to do with this.
well, that's even harder with MDOC.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just don't bring home either. All right, Miss Adams, so I do have Mr. Dagger Margosian back. In the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Mark Rowley, when can we adjourn that to, Miss Adams?
July 28th.
At 8:15.
Yeah,
All right, so Mr. Diggermer goes in July 28th at 8:15. Are you available?
Let's see.
Should I set Crawford and Elzer over to that same day, Miss Adams?
yeah, and then I'll just send a notice on all of them.
All right, with a note to the prosecutor to do the red?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
That's no problem. Thank you.
All right. So, Mr. Gable,
Morning.
good morning. So I don't have. I have Miss Yarhouse here.
Yes.
I do not have Mr. Turk, Mr. Blask, or anyone on behalf of the plaintiff yet.
I can call and send a message over, Your Honor, if you'd like
Sure.
to just
You
put
wanna
it
do
on hold.
that?
Sure, no problem. Thank you. I'll do that right now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Teskey, do we still, all right, so. Ms. Teskey, Mr. LaFave was originally set for sentencing on April 14th. We moved it to April 20, we moved it to June 2nd, it's now today. He's still in absconder status. I don't even have his attorney here today. Are you there, Ms. Teskey? Maybe not. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Randy LaFave. I have two files, 22-21138 FH and 22-21139 FH. Ms. Teskey, are you there? Okay. Message.
Judge, I can cover for her.
Well, she's here, but I just didn't know if he was in treatment because I know in our last team meeting for drug court, we talked about Mr. LaFave.
I can look him up really quick.
Judges, did Austin Richardson get pushed?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you
Ms.
get another?
Adams, when did Austin Richardson get adjourned to? Ugh. It got adjourned. I don't know when. Probably like, I want to say they were saying in the fall.
Okay.
So
I'll send an email to Becky. Thank you.
thanks.
Have a good weekend.
Any deputy to any information, Ms. Walsh or Mr. LaFave? I thought someone told me he was in treatment or maybe.
I don't see anything indicating that.
All right, well, I'm more than happy to issue a bench warrant. So, Mr. LaFave, do I even have a notice for today? No, do I have a notice for today? I do have a notice for today that was sent to his attorney as well as him. So I'm going to issue a bench warrant on both of these files. No bond because it's an absconding. It's set bond if we get them.
Sounds good.
I think this is my third bench warrant for this, but okay. All right, so that takes care of that one. Mr. Gable, any luck?
Yes, I called it to Plans Council's office. Plans Council, Mr. Turk is logging on. He should be on shortly, I was told.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Ms. Walsh, the only thing I have left for you and Ms. Teskey, I have Christopher Mauer at 9:30. But I don't have any other criminal cases this morning. Do you have anything I'm missing?
No, nope.
All right, well, thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
weekend.
You too.
Bye. All right, now we got Mr. Turk. All right, that will conclude my criminal docket until 9:30.